Welcome back, guys. So in today's video we're going to be working on the 240 once again, and the main thing I'm going to be doing is trying to sit low and have my car look nice. So currently what I have is I'm missing the cushion where I sit on, and it looks kind of like hack. If you look at it, you're like, something's missing here and it just doesn't look right, and I don't like the look of it personally, but I do it because I like sitting really low. So with today's video I'm going to be trying to make it look nice and sit equally low, or if not, a tiny bit taller, but still have some cushion. I'm also going to be installing my carbon fiber cooling panel, and I'm also going to be installing a new Tome shift knob that I got from Asher. So that's all going to be in today's video. So this is the cushion that I removed that I'm going to be trying to cut. This is the one that goes right here. I don't know what the actual name of it is, but your main butt section, I guess you can call it. So I took that out in order to sit a little bit lower, just because that gives me like 1.5 inches lower to sit in the seat. And you guys already know me, I like to sit as low as I possibly can. So I just did this just to kind of, take it out, but I just don't like the look of it. That's the main reason I'm doing this. I know some people are going to say, wow, that looks incredibly uncomfortable, but surprisingly, it's not even that uncomfortable. I've been driving this car like this ever since I put the bucket seat in, and I honestly don't mind it at all. The only thing I don't like is the fact that it looks like there's something missing. So that's why I'm going to be putting this, or at least attempting to put this back in. So yeah, it honestly doesn't ride that bad. So if you guys want to do this, just take out your cushion, you'll sit a little bit lower. Or if you're going to the track and you need that extra head clearance for your helmet, I'd recommend doing this. It's not really that uncomfortable. At first it's kind of weird because you're like, wow, this is just weird. There's no cushion on my ass, but you'll get used to it after about 15 minutes of driving the car, and it'll be all said and done. Alright guys, so I thought this was going to be a lot harder, and I was going to have to somehow cut this and then re-sew it. And I was a little worried because I don't really know how to sew. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but I've never really sewed anything. If something needed to be sewed, I kind of just wore it how it was, or I threw it away. So I've never really sewed anything, so I was like, this will be cool to kind of learn. But surprisingly, they have a little Velcro piece that you just open up. So we're going to open this up, and this is the foam that I'm going to be essentially cutting to make it shorter. Okay, so I struggled a lot to get this out, more than I thought I was going to. So this might be a little challenging, but what I also thought about doing was essentially just getting this and throwing this on there, because this is just the print, just so it looks nice. But I figured, regardless, this foam to me is trash because I don't need it. I don't need the cushion. I like to sit on the bare seat by itself. So I figured it's worth a shot. Try to cut this in half to have at least some cushion. And if it doesn't work and all else fails, then I'll just get this and throw this in, because this was my original plan from the beginning. So this is just a knife that I had laying around in my garage, which I'm just going to be using to cut this, because I can't really think of anything else that would be good to cut this besides a grinder, which is probably really overkill. So we're not going to do it that way. So I think I'm just going to start off by just cutting half of it off, and if I need to trim more, then I'll cut more. But I'd rather start off little and work my way up. Here I have it. I cut it in half, so now it's about 1 inch thick. But when you sit on it, it's going to compress. I already sat on it right here on this ground, and I can't feel the ground, so I might have to trim a little bit more, or it might literally just be perfect to where it still has enough cushion, but it doesn't sit super tall. Here I have the other half. I cut this piece out because, see the divot in here? It was right here and it was sticking out, so I cut that off. I still have to trim it a little bit just to get it even, but this is just like a rough sketch of what I'm going to be doing. Now I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with this, and they're going to think that this is a super dumb idea, which, I don't blame you guys. I agree 100%, but I'm just filming what I'm doing to my car, because I know there's a lot of people who kind of want to see the steps I take to build my cars. And I know there's a few people that whenever I build my cars, or they see them, they're like, well, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? So I just thought I'll just make videos on everything I do, even if it's not correct. I'll do videos on how I do my stuff, just in case anybody else wants to try it. For now, I'm just going to reinsert the foam into the little butt piece. I don't know what you really call it. If you know what this is called, put it down in the comments. I'm really curious. sure somebody will know. Someone always knows in the comments. There you guys go. That's pretty much it. Put the Velcro back on. It's going to be a little loose, but you won't really tell once it's in there. Alright guys, so we're going to be going from this to this, now having the whole pattern go all the way through. Sorry, I just got to position it straight. Alright, so I like how it sits. I'm nice and comfortable. It actually has a little bit more cushion than I want, but I think I'm just going to leave it and drive on it and see how I like it. Now I'm going to be installing my new shift knob. So this is a Tomei shift knob. I don't know if it's going to pick it up. I like it because it's super low key. It's just like satin black and then a nice gloss on top with a Tomei. But should be a nice touch. There we go guys. Interior's looking real nice. My S14 seating here. Gotta get that cleaned because I kind of stained it a little. But when I first threw it in here, I did a really good deep cleaning on it and it looked brand new. But obviously now, from having passengers get in here and stuff like that, it's starting to get dirty. So that kind of sucks, but it's whatever. This can be cleaned. That's all nice. Interior's all nice. I do want to find a crackless dash. I know it's going to cost a lot and it might not be worth it, but it's worth it for me. So in the future, when I do find a crackless dash, I'll probably end up picking that up. Depends how much it is. If it's above $600, I'll probably just ignore it. But if it's somewhere under that, then I'll consider it. But yeah, everything in here is looking tits. So now what I'm going to be doing is removing my slip-on spacers that I have in the rear. And while I do that, I'm going to be test fitting my new wheels on the car. The reason I say test fitting and I'm not going to throw them on the car is because the car still has to get a bunch of stuff done before I can finally throw them on. So the front is going to be getting all new suspension. So that should be coming, you know, in a video in a few weeks. I still don't know when I'm going to be getting everything, but I'm trying to piece it all together so the whole front suspension can be all new. So that has to be done. And then the rear, I am going to be pulling my welded diff out and swapping it for another welded diff, the stock diff that I got from the car, and getting that welded. I'll explain that when the time comes. But yeah, I'm just going to be test fitting them today and I'm not going to be running them. So that kind of sucks, but it's okay because the wheels that I have on the car right now look decent. Alright guys, I don't know if I should show you or if you know what these wheels are, but I'm obviously not going to be running these tires. I'm just test fitting, but I measured from the arch right there on the fender to the lip of the wheel, like out here, and it's roughly an inch. So current wheels I'm running are these MB Battles 18 by 9 plus 30, and this is what they look like with a 5mm spacer, making it pretty much a plus 25 essentially. My other wheels are plus 15, the ones I'm going to be running, so it's about a 10mm difference, which is kind of a lot. Same time, it's kind of not a lot, but if you look, it's poking out like half an inch. Can't really see it because the tire is a lot smaller, but it's poking out like half an inch from here to the lip of the rim, like I said. So obviously there's no weight on it, it's in the air, but when the suspension compresses, it cambers in a lot. So right now, the issue I'm running into with these wheels, like I was saying earlier, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but with these, even with the 5mm spacer that I have on there, like that AutoZone spacer, it's still not flush, and I could almost stick my finger in like this because it's so cambered in. I already installed some camber arms. What I'm trying to say is the way it's poking out right here, about half an inch, it's really far tucked in there, and I want to pull out a lot of camber, but with the amount of camber I'm going to be running in the front, I need to have some camber in the back because then it's going to look a little dumb, in my opinion. I think it looks weird when you have 0 in the rear and then like -20 in the front. I'm not going to run -20. That's like way too much, but I think it looks weird when there's like front wheel looks like this and the back wheel is straight because it almost looks positive. So I'm gonna have to run camber, but even right there you can see there's a little bit of camber and there's no weight on the rear end. So I do have to get an alignment and all that, but I think my fitment, you know, with what I'm working with, is gonna be spot on. I think I'm gonna have roughly 2 degrees of camber in the rear. That's what it's looking like, maybe 3. As always, I forgot to make an outro, so this is the outro. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it useful. And yes, the trick does work. I actually do sit a lot lower and it's pretty comfortable. So I highly recommend it. I know it's kind of hack, but like I said, I don't really care. It works. And if you guys want to go to the track day and you need that extra head clearance, I definitely recommend it. But with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.